Hey guys, let's talk Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 17. So we start this episode picking up where we left off with the last episode with Tori and Felipe and them breaking up, them calling it. And so, like I said, Felipe goes downstairs and he's moping and he's all sad. And the guys are trying to rally around Felipe, and then the girls rally around Tori. Um, Felipe states that he needs a partner that can give him grace because he's going to say stupid things, and they need to just let him be him. Um, and then he sleeps downstairs for the night and she sleeps upstairs, and then the next day everyone is going on their individual dates. And so when everyone is leaving, he goes to talk to Tori, but in my opinion, nothing that Felipe said in that conversation warranted them continuing to try. But that's my opinion. But they did end up reconciling. And he said something about this is bringing up his PTSD, which really pissed me off because you're just playing games now. And Tori said that she just needed them to commit to being each other's safe space. In this episode, Adam and um, Marissa, when she was talking to Tori, when Tori told them, what happened between her and Felipe, um, she says that Felipe is trying to be Beyonce, but he can't be Beyonce because you're Beyonce. It's kind of funny to me. But and then of course the date that Adam takes Marissa on is a bike riding date, something that she wouldn't want to do, but he doesn't care about what Marissa wants to do. He only wants to do what Adam wants to do. And then after a tense dinner, Marissa is trying to like play the peacemaker and change the vibes. Meanwhile, we have Caitlin and Devin, and I have a lot of notes on Caitlin and Devin. Um, when Caitlin heard about what happened between Tori and Felipe, she goes downstairs to talk to Felipe in defense of Tori, and that kind of upset Devin because all she does is get hot and get on the soapbox, but she doesn't really try to do anything. And he said he doesn't feel like Caitlin tries. And so that night they ended up having an argument in which about her sending him cues that she wants to be romantic or intimate with him, and him not picking up on them. And he stated that she has disrespectful communication. um, and he clearly communicated with her that he wanted healthy communication, and then everything spirals later on. So later on, after the group dinner, they play a game, and Mecca then pulls Caitlin to the side and it's like, let's go outside. So they go outside and they're talking, and Devin is watching, and he's like, they're being flirty. And so Devin ends up confronting them, and it's them, Devin and Belle sitting on the sofa, and Devin and Mecca sitting on the sofa, and it's Devin and excuse me, it's Devin and Belle sitting on the sofa, and Caitlin and Mecca sitting on the sofa, and Devin and Caitlin are looking at each other, and they're going out. And the next thing you know, she says, "Shut the f up," and he loses it because that's the exact type of communication he doesn't want. He doesn't like to be shut down, and especially she did it very disrespectfully by cursing at him. So he like the conversation escalated from there, and it got bad. So then everyone goes to bed and is looking kind of crazy. Meanwhile, all of this is going on. Belle ain't saying nothing, which is odd to me. But then, they go to bed and then they get up the next morning and, Devin and Caitlin end up talking and they ended up breaking up. So we did actually get someone that broke up on the couples retreat. It was Caitlin and Devin. And he leaves and then she rides back with like Adam and Marissa or something like that. It was like either Adam and Marissa no, it was Cam. It was Cam and Michelle they ride back with. She rides back with. Then we have Nikki and Sean. Before, you know, everything went to down the crapper. Sean, when, early that morning when Sean was still there, he was sitting there with Caitlin when she was defending Tori. He was there trying to break it down into simpler terms so that Felipe could understand. And then he leaves in the middle of the night, like when all the fighting and everything took place or whatever. So during this day, um, she stated that she had to make a decision to lean into the relationship. And, while, he had flew back home to New York, they have a good FaceTime call. Later on, Nikki shared that so later on, Nikki ends up sharing with Tori and Belle about the comment that Sean made about her being a 10 here and a 7 in New York. And that this kind of like sets off Michelle on her soapbox. And then later, Nikki says that she had to lean into the things that she was attracted to about Sean. And so while they're at dinner, her and Michelle kind of trade words because Michelle is passing judgment on the women and saying they shouldn't stand for this just to get to decision day and they should respect themselves more, implying that they don't respect themselves. But rightfully, Nikki was like, you don't know the relationships. You only, you're judging things based on what information we have shared for you. You don't really get a say, on who should be together and what not. And then Felipe says that, your breaking point is your breaking point, but not necessarily someone else's. So you can't really say that. Michelle is very messy, and I don't feel like there's good intention behind it, but I'll get into that when I talk about them. Then we have Belle and Mecca. They went wine tasting, and I feel like Belle is still being a protector towards Mecca. He is a self sabotager, but it may be intentional and it's not Belle's job to put up with it. Belle later talks to she later talks to Michelle and Nikki about men trying to humble them, and Michelle tells her what Mecca said the night before. Um, and then that's when later on Mecca goes to talk to Caitlin about Belle's demeanor at the dinner. Um, and they talked and later on Belle does tell him that she knows what he said, and his excuse was that he was speaking in confidence with the guys. And I put that I think Mecca likes Caitlin. Then we have Cam and Michelle. Cam told Michelle what Mecca said. She told Caitlin, and then she said she has to tell Belle. I said that it's not Michelle's business, and she treats the experiment like it's a competition, like she has to be the last one standing. And I put that she is very judgmental because her comments that she made at the dinner were very judgmental, and that's why Nikki ended up getting into it with her. But I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 18. All right, bye.